In this module, we're going to explain how you develop the plan for the project that you need to deliver. When you delegate a project to a project manager, you need to take care that there is enough mandate for the project manager who is going to manage the project. Often we write down the goal of the project, the required result, the responsibilities, the restrictions or constraints, and the phasing. Together they form a document which is called the project mandate or the project charter, in which the project executive, the senior manager, charters the project manager with the authority to execute the project. First, he is going to make the plan. During this planning stage, both the project sponsor, the executive, and the project manager have their own responsibilities. The project sponsor works out what he hopes to achieve with the project. This is the so-called set of benefits. The project manager is working out what has to be done. This is about the effort that we have to put in to get the result that we want. The benefits are registered in the benefit register, a list with the benefits of the project. The effort of the project is summarized in the project management plan. Both are compared to each other, and if the benefits outweigh the effort, then we can say that there is a business justification. And it sounds reasonable and logic that we only start with project where there is a real business justification. There are 8 steps you need to take in order to develop a plan. First, you study and understand your mandate. What are the authorization, what are the responsibilities that they have been given to you? Then you describe what you will and what you will not deliver. This is the scope of the project. We describe the various sub-deliverables. We describe the required quality. Then we produce a schedule and a budget for the project. Of course, there are uncertainties we need to investigate, and we analyze them as we do with the risk that could jeopardize the project. Based on this analysis, we work out a project approach. All these findings will be summarized in the project management plan. Let's study them one by one. The purpose of this first step is that you understand what senior management does expect from you as a project manager. What do they expect from the project, and what do they expect from the way in which you are going to manage it? This is very important, because if you know this, then you can accommodate them, and then they will support you. Before you actually are able to make a good budget or a good schedule, you need to know what you will and what you will not deliver. We call this the scope of the project. So you describe the scope by writing down the basic criteria, the constraints that you have been given, what you will deliver, what you won't deliver. These are the out-of-scope statements, which assumptions that you have made during the whole estimate process, and what other people need to organize. So things that you're not going to organize, but your project is dependent on them anyhow, so they should be organized. We break down the top deliverable into sub-deliverables: design, build and test. And the sub-deliverables we break down into smaller components, like requirements, alternatives, and a choice to make. Then the build is the material, the preparation, and the prototype. And the tests are the engineer's test, the user's test, and the acceptance test. And if it is necessary, you even break these further down to a manageable detail. This tree structure is called the work breakdown structure. It gives us an overview of all the sub-deliverables that we really are going to provide in the project. The work breakdown structure is the foundation on which we schedule and on which we do our cost estimates. Each project sponsor, each individual that is interested in the project and that has a stake with the project, in the project, has his own quality expectation. These quality expectations are translated into quality criteria for the lower levels of the work breakdown structure. We also describe and determine the expertise we need to deliver that quality. And finally, we develop an acceptance method. This is the way that we will accept the project result. This needs to be negotiated before we start actually with the project. Based on the work breakdown structure, we can develop our schedule. Often we use a bar chart, a so-called Gantt chart, and we can develop our budget. We do this in a table like that. A project is not a routine matter, so there's always uncertainties and risk. We do not know for certain how much material we are going to need. The costs are somewhere between 80,000 and 120,000. We are also not aware as certain how long the prototype will take, somewhere between the 6 and the 10 weeks. So there is the optimistic and there is the pessimistic. We have in a project opportunities and we have risks that we are encountering and that we need to manage. When analyzing the risks, we work out a project approach that fits the project. We exploit opportunities, we share them, or we ignore them. We try to exclude risks, to reduce them, to share risk, to transfer them, or we set up a disaster plan, or we just accepting the risks. All these are combined into the project approach. This project approach, together with the details about budget and about schedule, is summarized in the project management plan. We also develop a detailed plan for the first execution phase. In the meantime, the project sponsor has made a list of all the benefits of the project. We can now compare the project management plan with all the information about the effort and the benefits register to see if there is a business justification. Does this project has a solid business case? This can be either a yes or a no decision. When we decide to go on, when there is a business justification, we have our first go decision, and we can start the execution of the first stage in the project.